Hi, greetings to you, all of you. Today we are going to see on introduction to the data science. Introduction. So today there is a lot of talk about data science. So data science is the study of science about the data. There is enormous volume of data lying around. In the past 20-30 years, enormous work has been done to capture the data, to make sure that we don't miss the data, we capture the data, store them in appropriate place, and use our mathematical techniques to process the data. We call it data analytics. And after processing, we are going to use for effective decision making. So data science is about using data for decision taking. So how to use the data? First, let us see what exactly we mean by data, and then we have a terminology called data processing. So we will see what is data processing, and then what are all the activities we do in the database management system, how various techniques have been used for taking decisions based upon data. When you process the data, we come out with the result. The results are all called actionable insights from the data. Data is there. Actionable insights. You take insights from the data and convert it into actions so that you have a better way of doing business, you have a better way of life, you have a better way of healthcare systems, and so on. So that is what is all about data science. Let us have a close look at what is data. What is data? Data comes from various sources. It is not that in a college we collect the name of the student, details of the student, details of the parents, details of the alumni, and they are the only data. No, not necessarily. Today, in the real-time world, you open up an internet site, you make a click everywhere. Each click is giving you a data. Today, in the recommendation systems, in the e-commerce sites, whenever you view a particular product for a long time, that is captured. Whenever you are selecting something for buying, that decision is captured. It is captured. So these are all data. So by and large, what are all the data? Certain facts. Today, I watched a particular movie. Netflix captures the data. Numbers are data. My age, my date of birth, the mark scored by somebody. Quantities. Today, we have online capturing of how much quantity, what is the quantity of each of the food stuff that you are buying for your family. Quantities, information. My birthday is an information. It's a data. Graphs, sometimes we put it in the form of a graphical representation. That is also data. The measurements, everything is the data. Data may be in the form of observation, in the form of some facts, in the form of numbers, in the form of quantities, information, graphs, and measurements. Data are selected from there are various types of data. Transport data, what time a bus starts and at what time a bus ends and at what time each of the intermediate stages it goes. Geographical data, the latitude, longitude of each of the location where people are trying. Cultural data, scientific data, financial data, statistical data, meteorological data, nature, the data that comes from the nature, and so on. So these are all various types of data. So what is database management system? Actually, whenever data is captured, a science, a subject started evolving in the form of how a data must be captured and managed properly. That's called database management system. In a database management system, there are some 5 important components. One is the back-end data, the store in which the data is kept and it is there. That is one. The second is about the development facility, about the interrogation facility, maintenance facility, and repository generations. So these are the 4 important components of the database management system, other than the core data that you are storing. In fact, the development team takes care of defining the data, creating data dictionaries, creating data storage, creating data transformation. We have a role called database administrator. So the database administrator decides how the data must be named, each field. So if it is the date of birth, will I call it DOB, or it will be called date of birth, or DB, whatever it is. So the name is coined by the data administrator, database administrator. So the data definition is owned by that database administrator. Similarly, data dictionaries are created. Data dictionaries are for each of the data component, detailed description of what is that. So data storage talks about where to store, in which machine to store, in which directory to store, and so on. Similarly, transformation talks about wherever you require to transform the database, how to handle it. Similarly, data integration is an important thing because database is like a ocean. If a particular bank has 25 million subscribers, the whole data is stored in a place. Now, if I go for withdrawing money, I am saying I want to withdraw 10,000 rupees. Then the bank official enters my account number and queries the database to bring the data pertaining to my record. So that is the query language. We have a famous query language called SQL, structured query language. So that's important. That is what is primarily used. Similarly, if the database is a common repository for a bank, then there may be multiple users looking at the data. When at one branch, when I am withdrawing 10,000 rupees, at the same time from another branch, somebody may be interested, some bank official or somebody may be interested to do another transaction in my own account. So how multi-user controls can be managed? They are all separate subject of science. Similarly, there are communication interfaces. When money is deposited into my bank account, automatically I am getting a text message saying that money has been deposited. This is a communication interface. There is a communication interface which updates the appropriate users. In a similar manner, the third component is about database maintenance. Interfaces may be updated. We will be checking for the integrity of the database and so on. Similarly, the DBMS repository generation is about back-end activity. So we have a user, we have a designer, we have a database administrator. So all these people work on the database management system. So DBMS is such a complex system. So data processing is all about storage of data, sorting of the data, processing of the data, doing analytics about the data, and data presentation. So how many database management systems are there in the market? We all of us know that Oracle is one of the most popular databases. Look at it. This is February 2023 data. The data says 31%, nearly 1/3 of the database users are using Oracle. Similarly, 13.7% of the people are using MySQL, which is an open source. And 12%, a little less than that, are using Microsoft SQL Server. Similarly, there are so many other databases like MongoDB. Microsoft also has a simple database called Microsoft Access, Firebase, Splunk. They are all very popular databases. They are very useful for data analytics. Similarly, there are certain data. IBM DB2 is a very old database and so on. So these are all important databases popularly used. So what have we studied in this lesson? In this lesson, we have seen what is data science. Data science is the study of science of the scientific study. So data science is the scientific study of using data effectively and getting into actionable insights so that meaningful decision making happens. We also studied about what are all the various types of data. We studied what is a database management system. In a database management system, what are all the activities done and what are the popular databases. Thank you very much.